from Japan Pavilion. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to welcome the representative from Team Integriculture, please.
Okay, so basically, this is what we do, so-called clean meat, or in other names, it's called cultured meat or lab-grown meat, in vitro meat, or stuff like that. And we are a biotechnology company because we have to do lots of cell culture. So our team members are quite solid on the scientific background, like lots of 3 PhDs and some business guys. So what are we actually doing? So if we look what we are actually doing, how we live, our protein source or meat source is actually under heavy stress. There's billions of people in the world eat meat or eat fish. So the market is huge, like $2 trillion, but at the same time, that is coming at a huge cost of greenhouse gas emissions, and also because it is simply using way too much agricultural resource. If you're getting your protein from soybeans, and compare that to getting protein from beef, there's you need about 40 times more resource to get protein from beef. And that is basically eating up a lot of rainforest and pumping out lots of greenhouse gases. So that's the problem we're looking at. And because of that, for some countries, it is actually a national food security crisis. And for countries like Japan and China, which is importing a lot of its feed and meat and other protein sources, it is already a national crisis. So there's the potential solution called clean meat. And it's actually conceptually quite simple. So because you take only few animal cells from like beef, chicken, whatever, you don't have to kill the animal. Just take the cells and put them into a bioreactor, which is a huge tank filled with culture medium. And then multiply the cells and you get meat out. So it's actually conceptually simple, and the idea has been around since the 19th century. But the technological problem is it has been like very, very expensive. So that was 2013. So, okay, that's where we started. But after that, basically we made a breakthrough to make the cell culture a lot cheaper. And how do we actually do it? The reason why cell culture is so expensive is that because the raw material, the culture medium is very expensive. But if you look at what's actually inside the culture medium, you have basal medium and growth factors. And basal medium is just sugar, amino acids. They are not expensive, they are cheap. But the problem is the growth factors or the hormones, because they cost hundreds or thousands of dollars per microgram to milligram. But our technology basically makes those growth factors within the system by culturing other cells altogether. So it's called co-culture approach. So because of our way our system works, muscle cells not the only cells we can grow. We can grow like other cells like liver cells, pancreatic cells, and these are some of the proofs. And what's important here is that we have cultured multiple types of cells, and also without adding any growth factors from outside. Those growth factors, like hormones, it's not the nicest thing to be added into your food, and also it's very expensive. So it's actually the best if it's not used in the first place. And just to do another demonstration, so we actually made cultured foie gras using chicken liver cells. So that's basically clean chicken foie gras, and that's a prototype. So what is our system actually doing? So our system, it's not a technology to make meat. It's more of like general purpose large scale cell culture system. So meat is only one of the applications. So what do we do with that system? So if we look at what our system actually does, it takes sugar and amino acids as the input and produces cells, and that can be ingredients, cosmetic supplements, and then for like liver cells, meat, fruit. So meat is only one of the applications, but they come like that on the timeline. So meat is good, but before that, doing clean foie gras makes more business sense. And even before that, ingredients makes more sense, and that's where we're going to start. Well, medical applications one, but we are starting with this. And even for that, from cosmetics companies, because we can do it contamination-free, animal cruelty-free, and can use human cells, so that's why we are already gaining some traction. And that's our expansion plan. And we've actually secured our seed round funding. So the first one, 100 kilogram per month plant, that's going to happen. And after that, we are aiming toward 2023 plant where we are looking into supplements and food products, and which will further scale into actual meat factory. And that's probably how we're going to produce meat in the future, possibly on Mars. You can do that on seafood as well, just grow fish cells. Do that on Mars like that, do it in zero gravity like that, but whatever. That's where we are looking for corporate partnerships in 3 fronts. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your brilliant idea. And next is 5 minutes for our judge.
Hi. You already did the foie gras.
What is it?
You already did the foie gras that you showed?
Yeah, okay, foie gras.
Because you are creating a bioreactor to produce cells with different purposes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So what's the focus? What's the focus of the business? Because you were talking at the beginning about meat. Yeah. After that, you went to cosmetics. And so what's the focus? That's the question number 1. Yeah. So, if you're, wait a minute. If your focus is meat, what about the user experience and the tasting? Because if people doesn't like it, they are not going to eat it.
Okay, meat is a like long-term goal. So our focus is getting our general purpose cell culture system to scale. So we are not actually a meat company or cosmetics company. We are more like cell company. So that's where corporate partnerships become very important, because so we can culture cells, but what exactly, which cells? So what product development? So that's why we are partnering with corporations to come up with product development. So
you're a biotech company.
Yes.
But what's your main differentiation between different biotech laboratories, for example? I don't understand the competitive advantage of your company versus other ones.
Yes. So our main advantage is basically we can culture cells at a cost that's even thousands or even 10,000 times cheaper.
So your main competitive advantage is price?
Yes, that's one.
The production price.
Yes, that's one.
Can you talk a little bit about how you're providing these solutions for ingredients companies?
Yes. So ingredients companies, so the one that's already going on is the cosmetics and supplements ingredients company. So they're interested in producing cosmetics ingredients at a very at a low price, but the price for them, price is not the only thing that is important, because they want to be absolutely sure that it's contamination free. And unfortunately, the existing ingredients, they are like extracted from plants or animals, and they always run the risk of contamination from like virus, some bacteria, or those things. But if you do it by cell culture, you don't have to worry about those things.
Have you worked with any corporate partners yet on that
yes.
particular project? And who are they?
That's already going on. And the names I cannot disclose due to like NDA reasons, but we're already working with 3 companies.
What is the nature of this traction that you have with the 3 companies? Are you generating revenue, and how much?
We are in the joint R&D phase now. So the revenue, it's not like revenue stream, but we already got some money incoming to actually launch the research, joint R&D projects.
Do those projects have a customer on the other side of those? Is there a demand for whatever is going to be produced from the projects that you've secured?
Yeah, our corporate partners are seeing those demands, so that's why they partnered with us.
Have they already secured any demand? Like, do your partners have customers that have gotten signed contracts or something like that?
Yes, they do.
What's the value of that business that they've secured?
Well, they're not disclosing those figures, but
You are a research lab.
Where is our research lab?
You are a research lab, so how are you going to scale globally with your products?
Could you repeat? So where is our research lab located, or what's the question?
No. How are you going to scale your business globally?
Scale.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, the way our system works, the system itself, the hardware is actually conceptually not that difficult, but how you run that system, that's the important part. And so it's actually the operation data that drives the system. So we can actually license those like operation data. And the hardware itself can be built like elsewhere or globally.
Ten seconds. I see none of the questions. Thank you very much for our last team, next team. Thank you very much.